everyone. I'm here with Amy, Lash, Esau. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time today. So the first question I always ask Amy is to tell us what you do and how you help people.
Okay, well, I help people in a couple different ways. I work with nonprofits because nonprofits are big in Wichita.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they need help with grant writing and program evaluation because if people are giving nonprofits money, they want to know that what they're doing is effective.
Absolutely.
So I can help with the program evaluation as well. But then I also work with businesses who want to get involved with the community but don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So big companies, they have people designated to help them with volunteering or picking a nonprofit to give money to or to volunteer with. But small to medium sized businesses can't afford to have somebody
On
dedicated
staff
to
for
it.
that.
Right. Or who are they going to take off of mission critical work to figure out what are good nonprofits, because there are some that, sadly aren't as well run as others. What's going to be a good fit with their business.
And what they're looking to get, like if they're wanting to get their team together to work on something versus
Right.
if they want to just kind of do it more individually or
Right. Or do they just want public awareness of their brand?
exactly.
Or
And
do they want to build goodwill? So I can help.
Do they have the time or the money or both?
Right. Right. And so I can help businesses. I get a sense of their culture, what's important to them, their mission, and the purpose for getting involved with the community. And then I can help craft an individualized plan for the business.
Awesome. I love that. So can you give us a little bit of background into how you got started with this?
I actually say that I'm a little reluctant entrepreneur. My background has been in higher education for quite some time, both teaching and with higher ed administration. And like many things that happen in any kind of business, higher ed too, the position was eliminated.
Yeah.
And we loved Wichita. Didn't want to. We moved from Minnesota and didn't want to move, partly because we loved it, and also we had a daughter in high school.
Yeah.
And you don't pull a senior out of a girl out of senior year in high school, so we wanted to stay. And found a position elsewhere. Stayed there for about a year. It just wasn't a good fit, and then started looking for jobs. Nothing was happening, and then COVID, of course, and putting my skill sets together with my nonprofit volunteer work in particular, I think drove a lot of my looking at how I can help in the community and what I can do as a business. And then having experience in grant writing, put it all together starting out with just the grant writing and program evaluation, and then talking with Ashley Till, who's a B, about business, and realized, businesses could probably use these kinds of services. And so that's how I put that together. So I call myself a reluctant entrepreneur, but I really am enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, good. I love that. And you also will work with individuals who are applying for grants, right? If they've kind of identified the grant and they need help writing it.
Individuals for grant writing, but also Rita of the Rita's Wax Room. Rita's Wax Room. Yeah. Another B. She gave me the idea of working with individuals or families or groups of friends who might want to be involved and do something in the community but not know where to start.
Yeah, I love that. So that's like a new service offering. You're gonna
third leg of the stool.
That's awesome. So what's really the passion that drives you to work with nonprofits?
I think just giving back to the community. My mom, I remember she was a member of Junior League when it was Junior Women's League way back in the day, and being part of a church community, going on mission trips. Started out, I was kind of the brownie dropout or Girl Scout dropout, but then
I'm a Girl Scout dropout too.
Well, but as a mom, I wanted my daughter to experience that, and then our son too was in scouting, and so being a leader in scouting is all about giving back to the community, and I've always enjoyed just paying it forward.
Yeah.
So being able to pull my business together and kind of pay it forward for business, that drives my passion.
I love it. Well, what have been some of the challenges or struggles that you faced along this journey as a reluctant entrepreneur?
Well, number one, building up the business. I'm sure every bee understands building up the business takes a long time, and a lot of work that doesn't necessarily immediately result in business and income coming in. Yes, it is like farming. you never know what seed is going to sprout. And so that's been one of my challenges. Seem to be getting a little traction lately, so that's good. And to be honest and vulnerable, time management.
Yeah.
You know, when you're out meeting
I think
people,
every entrepreneur, you own your time. You're the one that has to set the constraints and, you know, make sure you're getting stuff done and all of that.
And then finding that balance of being out there and networking and then working
on the business. On the business versus in the business, right? Always, for sure. So what do you feel like really makes your approach unique?
Well, for the grant writing, I think the combination of grant writing with program evaluation is important. One of the ways that I've given back recently is working with United Way and serving on their grant panels. And the other members of the panel who didn't have the PhD that I have could see on a few of these applications that, wow, they just don't know how to, I don't think they're measuring what they think they measure. And if they are, it's not very good.
Yeah.
And so having my background with program evaluation and understanding that and how to research and develop programs, that I think is a unique piece that I can bring for that side. With the business side, as a dean at Southwestern College, which why we moved down here, I brought in high-level folks from different leaders in industry to talk to us about the programs that we were offering at Southwestern and give us feedback on are we following what needs to happen. So through that, I was able to develop some skills to connect with people in business and get to understand what their needs are. And so I can take that ability into, again, looking at the businesses and understanding their background, their culture, their mission, and then make those kinds of matches and connections with nonprofits in the community.
I love that. So you mentioned your PhD. Can you dig a little deeper into, like, you know, you don't have to have a PhD to do what you do, but how does having one really help you?
Well, so my PhD, or actually all three of my degrees, are in human development and family studies, which is all of the social sciences brought together. So psychology, sociology, anthropology. I had to take foods and nutrition. I had to take an art class as an undergrad. And what that has helped me do is develop a very systemic way of thinking. So when I look at a nonprofit, I don't look at just what they're doing, but what are other nonprofits doing in the community related to them. With businesses, kind of the same thing. So maybe the business is a construction company, but maybe the employees are like, I do this all day. Why would I want to do this to give back to the community? And maybe a natural go-to was, well, let's go build a Habitat for Humanity house. But by looking at the business, by talking with the people, maybe doing a focus group or something with the employees, I might find out that, you know what, they really have a heart for kids who have terminal illnesses. Well, then I might connect them up with Wichita's Littlest Heroes. And they might, or if they want to mentor, that would be something different than what might come to mind initially.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like a direct match of something.
Right. And so by thinking systemically, I can pull in these different ideas that at least I hope, will fit them better than what they might have
the most
just
natural default. I love that. So you're a mom and busy entrepreneur and all of that. So what does your self-care work-life alignment look like?
Well, that's probably one of the other struggles. Because, well, part of it is I enjoy what I'm doing. And so it doesn't seem like
hard
work.
to turn it off.
It doesn't seem like work. And we're empty nesters. The kids are out of the house. Well, one's in college. So I don't have those day-to-day responsibilities that a lot of the younger moms and moms of younger children do. So, you know, one of the things, we live out kind of in the country. And when we bought that house, we were like, you know, this is nice. It is kind of a little getaway.
Yeah.
So sometimes just that commute time is a time where I can sit and reflect, pray, just to kind of help get the day in my mind.
Right.
Right.
You know, I've noticed I live 5 minutes from the Hive now, and I used to have a 20-minute drive to work. And I miss that drive sometimes, you know, because there is just, I used to, either sit and think or I would listen to audiobooks, or I would call my mom or one of my best friends and have
Right.
a great conversation. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
sometimes I kind of miss that because it's one of the only times you're doing something, but you
Right.
can also listen to
Right.
something
Right.
or
Yeah.
process internally, and it's this time where your attention's relatively mono focused on something. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so maybe you'll just start driving around the block a few
Maybe
times.
maybe I'll make my drive a 20-minute drive even though I don't have to. So, since you've been a bee, how do you feel that the hive has helped you personally and professionally?
Well, I really have enjoyed hanging out here
Mhm.
in the physical space because that's a great way to make connections.
Like Rita, you were talking about, you
Right.
were
Yeah.
randomly having this conversation, and you
Hmm.
might even have another tier of your business as a
Yeah.
result.
Well, literally, she
Yeah.
helped me. At first it was two branches, and now
Yeah.
it's a three-legged stool, right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, making the informal connections really have been the most helpful for me.
Mhm.
Uh, there are so many things going on. I know that, and I have attended a few
Mhm.
events here, the lunch and learns.
Mhm.
That's one of the challenges, though. There's so many different
Right.
things going on, and how to pick and choose. Uh, so that, and then just having the connection with you, and then yeah, I just, and this space really
Yeah.
is a great space.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, what insight might you give to somebody who is maybe starting their journey in entrepreneurship, even reluctantly, like you?
I tend to be a spontaneous person,
Mhm.
maybe fly by the seat of my pants. Even in higher ed, the dirty little secret is that everybody is building the bicycle while they're riding it, or
Mhm.
flying the plane, or building the plane while you're flying it, which is a little more dangerous, but maybe more appropriate to Wichita. So probably going into it with a little more planning
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
have been helpful. But I, like I said, I'm spontaneous, so that
That's the way you work. That's what works
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, how can the bees help you, or is there anything you have coming up that we need to know about?
I don't have like any events or
No.
anything like that, but any bees who want to be strategic about
Mhm.
how they get involved with the community. Every softball team, little league,
Mhm.
whatever, is going to be knocking on people's doors.
Mhm.
And while your heart wants to go out, you still have to you have to protect your business,
Yeah.
and you can't just be giving all your time and all your
Right.
money away. So, I if you, or somebody in business
Mhm.
that wants to be strategic about that,
Mhm.
send them my way. Also, nonprofits that
Mhm.
and maybe they have a nonprofit they would really like to support.
Mhm.
Well, they could, I guess, kind of hire me for
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
if they need help with the grant writing or program
Mhm.
evaluation, something like that.
I love that. It's like a business sponsoring that for the nonprofit.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And kind of long term, I would love to see a client base where I have nonprofits who are needing help and businesses who want to help,
Mhm.
and that I can make those matches. And,
Yeah.
and obviously, an honorable business owner, I wouldn't just say, hey, match together. But uh, I
If
think
it's
this
a
would be
good
a good
fit.
fit.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much for taking the
Well,
time today, Amy.
thank you for the opportunity.
How can
Appreciate it.
people reach out?
Well, I am on Facebook,
Mhm.
personally, Amy Lash Esau, and Connecting Points Consulting.
Mhm.
I am on LinkedIn, both personally and professionally. I'm on Instagram. I know that's,
But maybe don't message you there because it might take a while.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks
Thanks,
again,
everybody.
Amy.
Thanks.